taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Welcome to the Speaker Circle, where we're a safe place to come and gather virtually to share resources, ask questions, and receive monthly training to build our speaker profile. Whether you're a new emerging speaker or you're an advanced speaker, we invite all to come here. Join us today on Facebook at My Speaker Circle. See you soon. Wait a minute, I have to unmute. There we go, guys. Hello, and welcome to your Speaker Circle, where we gather monthly right here to share information that will help your speaker profile. As I know, some of you are emerging speakers, some of you have been speaking for a while, some of you speak just because you just love the craft of speaking. And some of you know that speaking is a business, right? And so you want to make sure that you are aligned and moving forward and have all the tools necessary to continue to scale ahead. And so that's the whole goal here, for us to connect with each other, connect with other people who may be experts in areas that you're not. And so I'm so excited to end this year with this topic of how we can create social impact through your voice, through your business. How are you going to do that? And our speaker today is an expert at that. So when you speak, I know that a lot of us speak, and the reason is because we want to create change, right? That's the bottom line. We're speaking because we want to create change. So how can we do that in a way that aligns to our business? How can we do that in a way that creates social impact, a ripple effect? That's what we're going to talk about today. And so our guest is our expert speaker today. And let me make sure I get that going there. Our expert speaker today is Elena Boyd, and she is the founder and director at Change Makers. She is also the law professor at Mississippi College. She has her PhD in copyright law and history. What she does is she had launched her own design and brand strategy company, primarily focused on creating social impact, creating impact. So that's why she's like the perfect person to talk about this, right? What she says her genius spot is turning creative and innovative ideas into powerful products and services that sell easy for great profit, right? And at the same time, while you're doing that, you're also effectively changing the world for the better. Ooh, this sounds so good. Can it be done? Yes, it can. How do I know? Because she has done it for others. So definitely want to bring her to the stage today to let her know, let all the businesses and entrepreneurs know and speakers know, how can you also create with the product, with the services that you are sharing, how you're sharing that in your speaking world, how you're sharing that through your voice. How can those products and services also create social change? Because we all want to make the world better, right? You speak because of that, whether it's saving someone's time, whether it's extending your health to the youth, whatever that impact is. How can you do that and still make a profit as well? There's nothing wrong with that. And so she's going to bridge the impact between profit and life-changing things that we can do. So help me give a warm welcome to our speaker today.
Hi, Lenise. Hi, everyone. Lenise, thank you so much for having me today on your show. As you know, one of my most heartfelt passion is talking about social impact, and I'm so glad to have to be here with you and your audience today. So let me talk a little bit about social impact in the context of what Lenise was talking about just now, merging mission-based, the desire to make a mission, make an impact as a mission with profits, right? So it's when we run a business, usually it's either we're usually driven by profit goals. But what we do know, and let me give you a little bit of my background so that you know where I'm coming from. A little bit about my background is that I teach law, and I teach property, intellectual property, international IP, cyber law, law and economics, and that's my um, uh, academic profile on my school's website. So that's where I come from, and I spend a lot of time thinking about creativity and how to make an impact through creativity. And of course, when you talk about being a speaker, that's how you make an impact, right? Through the creative way that you speak. A lot of speakers. Lanice was talking earlier just now about speaking as a way to promote your business, and that's an excellent way to think about speaking. But when we think about speaking on in a larger context and about mission, um, the when we talk, and this is what I was trying to say earlier, is that when we talk about a business, usually we focus a lot on profits. How do we make profits to the business? But what I'm here to talk about today is that if you can think about making your business a mission-based business that focuses on social impact, making an impact on your community, making an impact on society, and by impact I mean a positive impact. Studies have shown, right, or there is evidence to show that businesses grow as a result of that impact. So when we talk about social impact, we're not a social impact business. We're not just talking about making profits, but we're also talking about a focus on mission. So the first is to generate profit, but the second goal of your business, if you are thinking about social impact, is to actually make a positive impact on the planet. Now, this is something that is important because there are studies that have shown that companies actually thrives when you make the lives of people in your community and in your society better. And when you think about conserving and restoring the environment. So throughout the pandemic, the companies that have actually survived and thrived in more difficult circumstances, right? Especially when the consumers are trying to decide how they were going to spend their money, were companies that actually were more concerned about their community and society and the environment. And what we do know is that statistics tend to show that consumers are more likely, 90% of them are more likely to switch to a brand that supports a good cause and to boycott a brand that is, irresponsible and careless about their impact on society. 64% of millennials consider a company's social and environmental commitments very important in deciding where to work, right? And if you're a business, you want to attract the best talent, and that's something you would have to consider. And 88% of millennials say that their job is more fulfilling when provided with opportunities to make a positive impact on social and environmental issues. Your brand reputation, if you're a business, right, depends on providing not just good products and services, but also providing good citizenship and good governance. And if you think about your reputation as a speaker, that's going to tie into that as well. So when we talk about speaking, it's not just about speaking as a speaker or speaking to promote your business. When you try to incorporate a social impact mission into that, your speaking engagement or into your speaking business, your brand tends to be more elevated, right, in a good sense. And Gallup has found that just 10% by increasing your employees' connection with your organization's mission or purpose actually leads to 4% improvement in profitability. Right, so we're not just talking about social impact as something that's disjointed from your role as a speaker or from your business. We're talking about how do we incorporate social impact into your business directly or into your speaking engagements directly, so that you as a speaker or your business is elevated because of that social impact commitment. So this is really interesting because when we talk about speaking, many of us speak with to further a mission, right? It could be a promotion of a business, or it could be to elevate women, for example, right, or to highlight um, issues in your community. That's already a social impact mission that you have. What I'm trying to encourage you to do today is to make that more conscientious, right? Is to be aware of the issues that you're highlighting, right? And try to bring that to the forefront, and have that not just be a message, but to elevate you as a speaker, but also if you have a business, to then help you create a stronger and more well-grounded business. So what does that look like? Now, when we talk about companies being a leader, or when we talk about a speaker being a leader, right? We are talking about really being socially conscious, right? Being aware of the message that we put out in society, and being aware not just of the message. So if you're a speaker, your message can be your product. But if you're a business, the product and services that you put out into society should not only help you make a profit, right? It should not only help you, become a more desirable speaker, but it also should help you do good. So if you are developing products or services, or you're speaking in a way to benefit society, um, what I really want to encourage you, especially towards the end of the year, when you're spending a lot of time thinking about what you're going to do next year and setting goals, is to think about how to integrate societal impact into your core strategy, right? What When you talk about the message that you're trying to convey in your speech, how do you incorporate social impact into that message, right? It could be a marketing. You could be talking on a marketing platform, but if you approach your speech, or the information that you're going to convey, with the desire to make a societal impact, that's going to change your message a lot more than just speaking about marketing, for example, or leadership, right? Or whatever message that you're trying to convey. So, for example, when I come here and I talk about running a thriving business, right? How do you create a thriving business? There is a significant difference between talking about a thriving business and talking about building a business on social impact, right? And trying to make a mission, create a mission to your business. Because when we talk about social impact and trying to create a mission through your business, the message becomes very different than just about then if I were to come here and talk about how do we create a thriving business, right? So a thriving business can be created by having good marketing strategy, having good sales programs, having good people, employees that work for you, right? Having good vendors that you work with. Those are all great ways to create a thriving business. However, if we talk about creating a mission, creating a social impact, using social impact as a strategy, then everything that I have just said, right, having the right business people, having the right employees, having the right business strategies will change, because now you're focused on doing good as a way to attract the right to attract the right employees, to attract the right vendors, to design the right products and the right services. So your business becomes very different. And the message that I'm conveying to you today is going to be very different, whether I talk about social impact, a social impact based business, or just a message about creating a thriving business. And so the point I'm trying to make here is that when you speak as a speaker, right, or when we speak to promote your business, if you can incorporate a societal commitment, right, societal environmental commitment to make things better for society and for the environment, your message changes completely. And that's where you find the power in the message that you're trying to talk about, right? So what I want to re-emphasize again, right, is to think about social impact as not as um, a disjointed mission that you have when you speak, right? Or it's not a disjointed thing that's aside from your business. what I'm trying to encourage you to do is to start thinking about how to put social impact directly into your core speaking strategy and into your core business strategy, because that changes everything, right? When we do that. So let me just bring you to this other slide. Let me see. Um, I talk about this sometimes, and this may not be that relevant if you are a speaker, but it is very relevant if you are a speaker promoting a business, because sometimes when you have a social impact program within your business, which is a program that addresses pressing social and environmental problems, and by introducing significant positive change to your business, um, that that elevates that helps your business ground itself within your community, within society, and it helps your business thrive. Now, if you are a speaker, you don't necessarily have to have a social impact program, but you can also talk about social impact. What are you trying to achieve through your speaking engagement? What are you trying to achieve when you stand in front of 200 people and give a speech, right? So what does that look like? What does social impact look like? I want to give you a really easy way to think about social impact and how that looks um, when we talk about making an impact. So one of the things to think about when we talk about making an impact, let me see. Is to have big aspirational goals for your speech, right? If you're giving a speech, but if you are a business, to have big aspirational goals for your business. So when we talk about big aspirational goals, it's having a goal um, that will propel you forward as a speaker or propel you forward as a business, right? So the big aspirational goal, a really good goal that I absolutely love is Patagonia, right? One of the mission, I'm rephrasing this, right? But is they say something like, we are in the business of making the world a better place, right? So that's a huge aspirational goal. So your goal as a speaker or your goal as a business, if you have that big aspirational goal, could be something like this, right? I'm speaking so that I can tell stories that will elevate women, right? I'm speaking so that I can highlight poverty in this part of the Amazon, right? Or I'm speaking so that I can highlight issues with the ocean, right? That a lot of ocean animals are, mammals are getting trapped in nets, right? Because of fishing, and I'm trying to highlight that issue. When you have big aspirational goals for your speech or for your business, that big aspirational goal should work as your northern star. And when you have that, then you can find the impact that you're trying to make, right? So when you talk about elevating women, the impact that you are trying to really make is create gender equality, right? So that women are elevated and are giving the same opportunities that have traditionally been given only to men, right? So maybe that's the impact, right? Or maybe when you focus on the environment, the impact that you're trying to make is to counteract the effect that factories, when they run the factory, to counteract the emissions, right? Or the negative outputs that they have on the environment, is to counteract that by highlighting the problems with the practices, right? Or providing new solutions, right? So if that's the purpose of your business, for example, one purpose of a social impact business may be to provide technologies that would help a factory reduce emission rates, right? So when you have those big aspirational goals, then you can actually find your impact. And the last thing to do is to align your business, right, or your speaking goals with your impact goals. So, and this is what I was emphasizing earlier, and I keep re-emphasizing, is to incorporate social impact directly into your core strategy as a speaker or your core strategy as a business, right? So it's so important to align those two goals together, your aspirational goals as a speaker, your aspirational goals as a business, finding your impact and then putting that together. So big aspirational goals. I think most people have those goals. You know how you know you what why are you speaking, right? Why do you have your business? A really good talk to look at, if you don't have that big aspirational goal, is to find out your why. And Simon Sinek has a really great talk, SIMON if you don't know, him, has a really good talk about starting with your why, right? So if you understand your why, then you should be able to find your big aspirational goal. So I think most people understand what that looks like, right? To have those big aspirational goals. But I want to talk a little bit about impact, because that's where I spend a lot of my time on. How do you actually make an impact in society, right? Because having the big aspirational goal isn't enough. You also need to think about, well, once I have this big aspirational goal, how am I going to start thinking about impact in a way that makes sense, right? Not only to you, as the business owner or the speaker, but also to your audience, right? Or to your customers, or to the people that you work with, your employees, your vendors, and so forth. So let me give you a really easy place to start thinking about impact. When we talk about impact, the way we are trying to make a positive change on society, on the environment, is to think about, well, how do I want to create the change? And in order to figure out how to create the change, you need to know what the problems are, right? So if you can address the problems, then it's easy to think about, well, this is how I want to go about creating change, right? And not just a one-time change, but a sustainable change. So a really, really great way, easy way, an easy place to start is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So these are 17 goals that have been agreed upon by the United Nations, right? So all countries came together. Um, we started with the Millennial Development Goals that then eventually um, uh, evolved into the Sustainable Development Goals. So there are 17 of those goals, and those 17 goals are laid out for us really clearly, right? Number one, we want to have no poverty. Number two, we want zero hunger. Number three, we want good health and well-being. Now, those are your impact goals, right? One goal that you could have might be to reduce poverty. Another goal that you might have is number 5, right? Create gender equality. So people who talk about elevating women are really talking about gender equality. So once we know that that's the goal that we are trying to achieve, then we get a lot clearer on the impact that we're trying to make, right? So start with the sustainable development goals. Every mission that anyone has can be mapped against the sustainable development goals. um, and so this is where you would start. And once you do that, then you would want to then let me come back to that slide, right? Align your business and your impact goals. So that's what I have for today. I wanted to just hone in on this issue about social impact. That it's not something that is disjointed out there somewhere. It's something that you can really incorporate directly into your business. And when you do that, or your speaking engagement, and when you do that, then things will change. You will see a whole different audience that you will attract. You will attract a whole different group of clients and customers, and you will grow, right, as a business and as an individual.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much. I hope that everyone listening today really got out their pens and paper, text yourself however you take your notes. I hope that you really got something out of this today, and you can start aligning your 2023 with your impact goals as well. So really, really take in consideration what was shared today and how you may scale your business through the impact of social impact. And so I did want to share your website. Is there any other ways, or how can people connect with you? What kind of services do you provide if they're like, look, I really want to do this, but I think I need some additional guidance or coaching or what have you? So if you wouldn't mind sharing that with us.
Yes, so the best way is actually through our website, but let me give you my email as well. So my email is alina at alinaboyd.com. And that's another great way to reach me. But the one thing that Lanice asked about what we do is what we really focus on is the impact part of the equation, right? So a lot of businesses, like, right now a lot of businesses have impact as a disjointed part of the business, right? We make money and then we donate to this nonprofit, or we make money and we'll try to to create impact. But what we're trying to really teach businesses is that you actually create impact along the way, and that actually helps you make money. So that's really what we focus on. We are actually doing a event series around the sustainable development goals. We did our kickoff event in October, and then we did our first sustainable development goal on poverty in November. So we are working to kick off the rest of the SDGs. We're trying to do one each month, starting in February next year. So we are gone back to the drawing board to work on our event series, but that's also something that we are also doing as well. So I would love your audience to come join us when we kick off the second SDG onwards. But the best way to get in touch with me is through Alina at alinaboyd.com. But also, we have a lot of information on the Changemaker Institute's website. We have a podcast, we have newsletters you can sign up for. So please come and interact with us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you sharing with my audience. And so I'm going to just close out and say bye. And I appreciate you and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks, Lanice.
Thank you. Thank you all again for joining us. And again, remember, we are here once a month, and we will have different experts available for you to share with you how you can continue to grow your business, how you can continue to expand your speaking business. And that is ultimately our goal. And always remember, the stage is now yours. Have a great and happy new year.